During couples therapy, she confessed something about her former boyfriend. "If he called me tomorrow and wanted me back, I'd walk out on you." The counselor went completely still. I rose from my seat, thanked them both for the session, and left the room. Her phone started ringing before I even made it to the parking area. I didn't pick up. Hey, everyone watching. Before we continue with the story, if you enjoy these kinds of real-life accounts, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Hey r/relationships, or wherever this fits. Long-time reader here, first time sharing on a burner account. The wound is still raw, and I'm trying to keep my regular life from exploding. I'm 35, guy, and until roughly a year back, I believe my marriage was pretty strong. Married 5 years, no children yet, though we had discussed starting a family. Well, mostly I had. In retrospect, perhaps that should have been my initial warning sign. I was constantly the one nudging us forward, while she appeared happy just drifting along. But everyone sees clearly after the fact, don't they? Let me provide some background, so this doesn't seem to come from thin air. Call me Alex, not real, for privacy. I manage IT for a medium-sized technology company in a mid-tier East Coast city. Reliable position, solid salary. The sort that allows homeownership without constant financial panic. I first encountered Jenna during university. She majored in marketing. I studied computer science. She had that lively, charismatic energy that drew people in instantly. I was the steady, dependable type, the one making sure nobody drove drunk after gatherings. They say contrasts pull people together. We were together 3 years before I got down on one knee. She accepted, and our wedding turned out beautiful. Her relatives traveled in. My side organized a casual backyard dinner the night before. In the beginning, everything felt secure. I stood by her side no matter what. Roughly 2 years after the wedding, she was laid off in a corporate restructuring. The blow devastated her. She struggled with depression for a long stretch. I took on additional contract jobs to handle expenses, urged her to rest, and rediscover her direction. I even declined a job advancement that required moving cities since she wasn't prepared to uproot. "We'll create our future right here," I assured her. "There's no hurry." Eventually, she secured freelance marketing work, and life appeared to stabilize. Yet by year 4, small fractures emerged. She began coming home late from colleague hangouts, slightly drunk and emotionally unavailable. Her phone vibrated nonstop. She tilted the screen whenever I was close. At first, I blamed pressure from work. Then came the subtle jabs, comments comparing me unfavorably to others. "My colleague Mark just got himself a boat." Imagine having that level of spontaneity. Mark. The name surfaced repeatedly. He was her old boyfriend from before our time. A short college fling she'd described casually once or twice. "Nothing major," she'd said. But recently she referenced him more often, always in an offhand tone that carried weight. The online behavior crept in quietly too. She shared ambiguous Instagram stories or tweets about refusing to settle or reminiscing about lost chemistry. I noticed because we were connected, though she never mentioned me in them. It hurt, but I avoided confrontation, didn't want to appear jealous. So I proposed marriage counseling instead. "Let's work through this properly with help," I suggested. "We've put in too much effort to watch it fade." She consented, though her agreement felt half-hearted. We scheduled an appointment with an impartial counselor nearby, someone a friend had suggested. I arrived optimistic, viewing it as our opportunity to restart. That morning I brewed coffee for us, gave her a goodbye kiss before heading to our jobs, then met her at the therapist's office. The practice sat in a calm downtown building, neutral paint, bland paintings, everything intentionally inoffensive. We took seats at either end of an aged sofa. Our counselor, Dr. Ellis, a woman in her 50s, sat facing us in a comfortable chair. She opened with standard questions. "What brings you both in today?" I spoke first, describing the growing emotional gap and my desire to bridge it. Jenna gave small nods, but kept glancing at her phone hidden beside her thigh. When her turn came, she exhaled loudly. "Honestly, I'm not sure. Alex checks all the boxes on paper, but recently we feel more like housemates than partners. There's no thrill anymore." Dr. Ellis asked kindly, "Could you explain what you mean by thrill?" That's when the session began to collapse. Jenna described feeling trapped, how our routine had become suffocatingly ordinary. I listened attentively, thinking openness was a step forward. Then Dr. Ellis inquired about previous relationships. whether any lingering attachments were influencing the present. Jenna paused, then gave a small shrug. There is one, my ex, Mark. We've been in touch again through social media lately. He's more vibrant, more energetic. A knot formed in my gut, but I remained composed. In touch how? I asked softly. She brushed it aside. Nothing romantic, Alex. Just chatting. But interacting with him highlights what might be absent here. Dr. Ellis leaned in. Jenna, could you clarify? In what way does this impact your dedication to the marriage? That's when she delivered the devastating line. Staring straight at me without flinching, she said, honestly, if Mark wanted me back tomorrow, I'd walk away from you. He's the one I let slip away. Being with you feels safe and easy, but is safe really sufficient? I deserve excitement beyond mere security. Silence swallowed the room. Dr. Ellis froze mid-note. Pin suspended, expression stunned as though she'd seen an accident unfold. The wall clocks, ticking, grew loud. My pulse hammered, yet I showed no outward reaction. No shouting, no breakdown. Something inside simply clicked off. Her admission crystallized every suspicion I'd pushed down for months. I had never been her top pick. I was the dependable fallback. I inhaled slowly, placed my palms on my thighs, and stood. Thank you for your time, Dr. Ellis, I stated calmly. I believe I've heard everything necessary. Jenna looked startled. Hold on, what? Alex, sit. We're still working through this. I met her gaze, voice level and resolute. No, we're finished. You've made yourself very clear. Dr. Ellis tried to intervene. Alex, maybe we ought to. No need. I cut in courteously. This has been very revealing. I gave them both a nod and exited, through the hallway, into the elevator. Thoughts raced. Pain, certainly, but also startling sharpness. Every concession I'd made, every postponed goal, every quiet act of support. For this? To serve as someone's plan B? Reaching the ground floor, my phone vibrated. Jenna. I sent it to voicemail while crossing to the lot. Another vibration. Message. What is wrong with you, Alex? Get back here. Then repeated calls. I muted the device, entered my car, and left. Not toward our house. Straight to a friend's apartment on the other side of town. I explained the core facts that evening without theatrics. It's done, I told him. He asked no probing questions, just passed me a drink. The calls persisted, voicemails accumulating. Curiosity made me play the early ones. Alex, I phrased that badly. I was only being truthful, the way the counselor wanted. You're blowing this out of proportion. Her tone blended irritation and alarm. Next one. You're really ending everything over a single sentence? Act your age. We can repair this. Repair. The distorted reasoning struck deep. She'd packaged her disloyalty as courageous candor, as though confessing she'd abandoned me for an ex was some noble virtue. But the issue wasn't the phrasing. It was the reality it exposed. I'd invested everything into a relationship she viewed as temporary convenience. That ended now. That evening I began organizing. No pleading, no dramatic showdown. I simply withdrew. Temporarily blocked her to gain mental space. Called an attorney the following morning to start divorce proceedings. Packed my necessities into storage. Left the house untouched. She could remain there temporarily. I preferred a clean break. Yet her efforts continued. Messages from unknown apps. This is absurd. Speak to me. Her sister phoned from her own line next. Jenna's falling apart, Alex. She didn't intend it that way. Think of your family. Don't discard years over one conversation. I ended the call silently. Then came her mother's email. I brought her up to speak her mind. You're deserting her at her lowest point. What sort of person does that? The double standard stung. They'd always shielded her, pampered her as a child, overlooked her inconsistencies. Now they blamed me? I passed. Instead, I concentrated on myself. Intensified workouts. Accepted the promotion I'd previously declined. Shifted temporarily to a branch office a few hours distant. Liberation. After years of caution, I no longer tiptoed. The following months blurred together. Not cinematic, more like trudging through thick sludge. Tedious, chaotic, draining initially. No vengeful schemes, no barroom self-pity. I simply carried on. Woke at my friends. Worked. Returned. Repeated. In that stillness, free from her constant subtle criticisms and unspoken demands, I began recovering my breath. Divorce filing happened within a week of the therapy disaster. Kept proceedings straightforward. No fault grounds. Fair division of property. House jointly owned. I permitted her to stay during processing. Avoided eviction conflict. Distance was my priority. My attorney managed all contact. I rented a modest one-bedroom near the new branch. Plain setup, small kitchen, parking lot view. But it belonged to me alone. No tension. No bracing for the next disappointment. Career steadied me. I revisited my boss about the earlier declined role and accepted it. Now I led a remote team, with periodic trips to headquarters a couple hours away. The added duties provided healthy focus. I immersed myself. Extended hours, but meaningful. No longer glancing at my phone, constantly wondering if she required something. That side contracting I'd done while she was jobless? I revived it on weekends, cybersecurity advising. Not flashy, but it boosted savings and restored direction. Body transformed too. I'd maintained decent fitness, but now exercise became healing. Dawn sessions, lifting, running, anything to clear mental fog. Dropped 15 pounds, added definition. Not for spite or show, for reclaiming inner strength. I began individual therapy with a different professional, not Dr. Ellis. We explored deeply my habit of overlooking warning signs, shrinking myself to preserve harmony. You were devoted beyond reason, she observed. But one-sided devotion becomes self-harm. Old memories surfaced unexpectedly, like 3 years earlier when her vehicle failed during a weekend getaway. I drove 4 rainy hours to retrieve her, no complaints. Or when she desired a costly professional development program for her field. I charged it despite postponing my own credentials. You're my foundation, she used to tell me. Foundations were down eventually, apparently. Those recollections ached, yet they motivated me. Why accept secondary status? Doubt persisted, sleepless nights questioning whether I could have salvaged it. Gradually perspective changed. No longer bewildered. Simply certain. Her decision, not my shortcoming. Social dynamics shifted interestingly. Close friends approached tentatively at first. Heard about the therapy incident. Tough break. One remarked over drinks. I shared facts plainly, no slander. News circulated quietly. Quiet divisions appeared. Some friends pulled away from her, including me in gatherings instead. Her online content grew more elusive, veiled healing journey, captions that reeked of avoidance. I disconnected from all her feeds, nurtured my own relationships, began weekend trail walks, joined a neighborhood quiz group, encountered fresh faces unaware of our past, who knew me simply as Alex. Romance entered slowly. Casual meetups at first, coffee dates, occasional dinners. Strange, yet freeing. No obligation to play flawless supporter. Roughly half a year after the session, I met Sarah at an industry event. HR professional, intelligent, warm, with a genuine laugh that sliced through pretense. We bonded instantly over geeky passions, science fiction novels, terrible wordplay. Not a hasty replacement, something authentic. She understood my history without pressing for details, just offered steady presence. For the first time, I experienced partnership, not rescue duty. Throughout, I remained outside Jenna's gravitational pull. Dismissed sporadic lawyer emails debating minor points. Her outreach diminished after the opening flood, but the quiet felt ominous, like pressure accumulating. And yes, I occasionally pondered Mark. Had she truly returned to him? Whispers reached me, sightings at local spots, but I refused to investigate. Her consequences now. Mine involved reconstruction, piece by piece. By the 8th month, the mirror reflected someone renewed, assured, lighter. The wound remained, a mark, yet it no longer controlled me. I dwelled in injustice sufficiently. Time to advance. That's when consequences arrived, delayed, but thorough. No dramatic thunderclap, just ordinary results of poor decisions playing out naturally. I never chased updates. They arrived via occasional mentions from shared contacts unable to stay silent. It began when Jenna relocated in with Mark roughly 30 days after my departure. Early reports described intense romance, weekend escapes, extravagant outings. She hinted at it online with fresh start undertones. But fractures surfaced swiftly. The thrilling ex proved unreliable as expected. Erratic employment, questionable freelance scheme resembling a hustle. Disputes intensified. Acquaintances murmured about his short fuse. One evening it erupted openly at a neighborhood pub. He shouted over something trivial, shattered a drink. She minimized it, but gossip traveled. Then abandonment. Around 5 months after our split, Mark vanished, exploited her apartment as temporary lodging, siphoned her remaining funds into his ventures, then disappeared. He'd been seeing someone else simultaneously, younger, more thrill-seeking. Jenna discovered through an online tag. She unraveled rapidly. Job loss followed. Workplace drama. Missed targets amid emotional collapse. Terminated with minimal payout barely covering basics. Loneliness followed. Her relatives had coddled her forever, but patience has bounds. Her sister confided to a common friend. Jenna's a disaster. Sobbing constantly, pointing fingers everywhere. Shared acquaintances withdrew sharply. After I related the therapy account neutrally, no exaggeration, they recognized the double standard. She walked all over you, one remarked. Social invitations vanished. Group threads went dead. Her image suffered badly. Those ambiguous posts now highlighted instability. She resorted to staying at her mother's, surviving on unemployment, drowning in mortgage debt she couldn't manage solo. Information reached me piecemeal, occasional messages, passing comments. I never pursued, merely acknowledged and continued forward. Inside, a quiet satisfaction settled. Not malicious joy, simply confirmation. She pursued thrill and reaped turmoil. I embraced steadiness and cultivated calm. The twist? She dismissed me as dull. Now she drifted aimlessly. It felt authentic, grounded. No scripted fireworks, merely natural outcomes. Quiet didn't last. Once karma struck Jenna, her efforts to return surged predictably. Began quietly, messages sneaking past blocks via fresh numbers. Alex, please, we have to discuss this. I ruined everything. I deleted without response. Intensity grew. Tearful voicemails at first, then irritated. Her relatives joined. Poisonous as always, portraying me as cruel for refusing to pardon her truthful moment. Roughly a month after her termination, she appeared uninvited at my apartment. I'd returned from the office, still dressed formally, when the entry buzzer sounded. Her voice trembled through the speaker. Alex, it's me. Can I come up? I traveled hours to get here. I hesitated, but perhaps needing finality, I allowed entry, yet kept the security chain latched when she reached the door. She appeared worn, disheveled hair, swollen eyes, wrinkled outfit suggesting she'd slept in it. Thank you, she exhaled, moving nearer. Alex, I've been destroyed. Mark turned out horrible. Controlling, emotionally cruel. He drained me, my bank account, my self-worth. I lost my position because I couldn't concentrate after he disappeared. Living with mom is unbearable, constant criticism. She extended her hand through the gap. I retreated. What are you asking for, Jenna? Tears brimmed. I want another chance. That therapy comment. I was foolish, felt forced to speak openly. It wasn't genuine. You're reliable, kind. We could restart. Counseling properly this time. I'll transform. I shook my head, tone even. You stated it plainly. If he beckoned, you'd go? And effectively you did. Pursued the rush, treated me as reserve. She reddened, reframing. That was theoretical. Your predictable routine pushed me away. No adventure, no boldness. But I understand now. Security is valuable. Please, Alex. I'm at my lowest. Lowest indeed, but twisting blame onto me? Typical evasion. This isn't about adventure or boldness, I replied steadily. It concerns mutual regard. You lacked it then. I have none left for this. Anger flashed quickly, her real nature surfacing. So that's your decision? You're finished? After tolerating your monotony? Your cautious path? You're cruel, Alex. Leaving like a spineless person. I shut the door during her outburst, secured the lock. Farewell, Jenna. Her knocking diminished as I walked off. Blocked that contact immediately. Yet persistence continued. Weeks afterward, family pressure escalated. Her sister rang from an anonymous line. Alex, this has gone too far. Jenna's crumbling, sobbing, barely eating. She admitted her mistakes. Everybody errs. For your family's sake, forgive and accept her. I allowed her to finish, then answered plainly, not my family now. Advised Jenna to let go. Hung up. Her mother sent another lengthy email full of shame. I never imagined you'd forsake my daughter this way. She merely voiced emotions, the honesty we encouraged. Now destitute, isolated, all due to your ego. What man abandons a woman in crisis? I ignored it. Attempts grew frantic. Jenna's messages oscillated, pleading to furious. One late night call. Alex, answer. I know you're listening. Mark was violent. He struck me. Stole. I'm at the bottom. You owe me after our marriage. After reducing me to convenience, I played one message, then erased everything. Her last effort used a neutral mutual contact. Jenna asked me to pass along. She regrets everything, seeks some ending. I explained briefly to him. He withdrew afterward. Desperation reached its height, but I remained uninvolved. My existence flourished. Advancement secured. Consulting work expanding. Relationship with Sarah deepening. Jenna's turmoil? Distant static. The peak arrived unexpectedly at friend Tom's wedding 9 months after the therapy explosion. Small ceremony, outdoor park setting, intentionally understated. I'd confirmed attendance, bringing Sarah. By then we were strong, sharing outdoor adventures, discussing future plans. She knew the outline of my past. Zero theatrics. During the vows, I noticed Jenna across the grass. Out of place in an overly snug outfit. Heavy makeup failing to mask exhaustion. Uninvited originally, likely slipped in through her sister, connected to the bride. After the ceremony, during cocktail hour, she approached me near the food table while Sarah spoke with others nearby. Alex, she murmured urgently, scanning around. Never thought I'd see you here. You seem well. Accomplished. I nodded courteously, picking up a plate. Today belongs to Tom. Let's stay respectful. She disregarded that, closing distance. Please listen. I've truly changed. Actual therapy now. Mark shattered me, but it forced awakening. I recognize what I discarded. You're everything. We could reconstruct. I'll do whatever it takes. Her gaze flicked to Sarah, laughing easily with others, glowing in a light dress. The difference struck sharply, Sarah's natural confidence versus Jenna's frantic energy. Who's that? Jenna asked, tone fracturing. Not some fling. I placed my plate aside, words firm yet calm. That's Sarah. We're content. Regarding us? That ended. You chose your path. I chose mine. You hold no place in my future. She flinched, indignation rising. No place? After 5 years together? You're heartless, Alex. I believed you were kinder than abandoning someone suffering. No abandonment. I clarified evenly. You departed first, whether in theory or action. I've created something genuine now. Reality stands. Tears rose, yet fury prevailed. You'll regret turning away. When she leaves, you'll realize I was right. I shrugged, pivoting. Unlikely. Enjoy the celebration. Sarah appeared then, slipping her arm through mine. We headed to our seats. Jenna lingered briefly, then retreated, defeated. That concluded it. She sought resolution on her conditions. I offered none. Blocked permanently that evening. Divorce completed shortly afterward. She retained the house but sold quickly amid her chaos. Myself? Another promotion, trips with Sarah, life elevated. Betrayal pained once, now merely an old chapter. If you find yourself facing something similar, Reddit, exit with self-respect. The pieces eventually fall into place.